Hello everyone, myself Pankaj Kumar. Today actually we are going to discuss a really important topic in when you are working in a like software domain like so they people often ask what is abstract class, okay, and then they ask what is the interface, and then try to understand your deep understanding about these both topics. Like they will ask uh, abstract and interface both are using for like data hiding and don't want to show the internal implementation, okay. So why same things is given like two places, lab abstract and interface? So like it is little bit tricky, okay. So we will going to dig deeper, okay, so stay tuned with me. So like let's understand about the abstract class. So like abstract keyword is like it is used either it may be class or it might be a method, abstract method. So like there is no any a keyword for abstract method. If you are not defining the body of that method, it will be considered as a abstract method. So like for example, like when we should use abstract, okay, like suppose I have a class, okay, and it is mainly used like suppose if you want to like suppose I have an employee class, okay, and that employee have each employee have like id created at updated at, okay, or those all information like basic information, abstract information, whether it's product. So product also have like product id created at updated at. So to follow DRRY, drive principle, like don't repeat your code. It is better in that situation that you create a abstract class and all classes will going to implement. So those all ID other parties will going to be inherited from the abstract. Okay. So like data abstraction is a process of hiding certain details and show only essential information to the user. Okay, this is called data abstraction. So both are used like some kind of a hiding a data or hiding the internal implementation. So like abstraction can be also achieved with either abstract class or interfaces. So like how to define an abstract class? If you are programmer, you already know about we need to give the keyword abstract, then we need to pass the class name, okay. So note this is that abstract keyword is a non-access modifier used for class and method, okay. So you need to remember abstract class is a restricted class that cannot be used to create object, okay. To access it, it must be inherited by the another class, okay. So it will not able to like it doesn't have like a kind of physical memory, okay. It is just concept because object is a physical, it is going to have some memory of your RAM, but abstract is not going to have. Abstract method also have like can only be used in a abstract class and it does not have a body. Simply you just not writing anything, so it can become a abstract method. The body is provided by the subclass which is going to inherit, okay, who is going to implement that abstract class. An abstract class can be both abstract and regular method. So like abstract class maybe have like can have both, okay. Like suppose I have a class, okay, let's try to understand with like example. I have a class called abstract, okay, vehicle, and it you can see there is a two method. One is a start and one is a stop. And as you can see, a start doesn't have any implementation, but a stop have some implementation. It is saying that car stop. So what we understand that class can have both type of method, either abstract or non-abstract. Okay. Now let's try to deep more digger, like from the example above, like what we have seen, the vehicle have two methods, a start and a stop. Okay, when we will try to create object of that class, it is going to give a error. Like suppose object, how we create vehicle is equal to my object is equal to new vehicle, so this is going to give a error because you cannot initialize create object of the abstract class. Okay, to access the abstract class, it must be inherited from another class. Let's convert the vehicle class we use in a polymorphism to an abstract class. So when we are trying to implement class with class, okay, like we want to extend, so we in that case we use extend keyword. When there is a class and interfaces, there we use implement. So people also ask when we should use extend, when we should use implement. So this concept is like really crucial for here. So now here you see vehicle class is there, a start and a stop method, and this like earlier we have already seen. Now suppose there is one class called BMW. Okay, BMW is a one vehicle. So what is this? It is saying it is extending vehicle object. Okay, vehicle class, and then if you are extending, so it is going to pursue that implement the method. So either you need to write the start method, or I can use already which is method already written in that abstract class. So I am not giving the stop method, still I will able to invoke the BMW object dot stop method. So this is the like way, as you see that BMW has not implemented the stop method, but still it will able to invoke that method because it is already implemented in the abstract class which inherited by BMW. Okay, now when we should use abstract class and method, let's try to understand this. So to achieve security, like suppose you don't want to show like internal working or like some business logic to anybody, so better you write in somewhere in abstract class. Okay, and allow people that okay, if you want to implement this or you want to use this method, implement this, extend this class, you will able to invoke those method. Like suppose if you are working on some SDK. Okay, so like suppose you want to provide some SDK tool to other people to develop their own software, so there it is very useful. And note, abstract class also be achieved with interface, okay, which we are going to understand when interface need to be used. So let's understand about the interface. Interface is also a way where we can achieve the abstraction. Okay, so it is important that interface will going to have abstract method. Okay, either it is going to have a default method. Okay, so we will try to understand like prior to Java 1.8, interface can only have abstract method, but after in Java 8 it introduced that interface can also have a default method also. So there you know about that interfaces can also have a default method, and if it is having only one abstract method, so it is a particular case which is called functional interface, where we can invoke the lambda expression and other things. So here you see same thing I want to achieve with vehicle interface. So now I have created a vehicle interface, and there is two abstract method, a start and a stop. So to access the interface method, the interface must be implemented, like it should inherited by other classes. Okay, so like another class with what if, like there will be mismatch if in class 1 to implement the class 1 to extend the interface, so they need to use implement keyword. If they one interface also want to use the same like some other interface, so they use to extend. If same time, if a is coming, just extend. If ab is coming, so implement. Okay, so people also ask question when we should use implement keyword and when we should use extend keyword. So keep this minor detail in your mind. So now these are the interface, it's having two methods. Let's go ahead. So now see, when BMW want to implement the vehicle, so now interface is a contract. Okay, if you are implementing interface, so it is mandatory that you have to override the method, otherwise it is going to throw compile time error. Okay, so we have two method in the vehicle interface, a start and a stop, which we have overridden here. Now how we can use, like in a driver code, this is like what we have used, like I have created object of my BMW, and from the on the top of that we can invoke both method, a start and a stop. Now let's note some important point, like abstract class interface cannot be used to create object. We can create object of abstract class, but we cannot create object of interface. Okay, it is not possible to create vehicle object in the my vehicle class. Okay, interface method do not have any body. Okay, interface method do not have any body, but keep in note here, default method can have. Okay, so whatever the abstract method will be there in the interface, it is going to implemented by class which going to inherit this. Okay, so let's understand few more things. Okay, so on implementation of interface, you override all method. We already seen that there was BMW, and BMW implemented both a start and a stop method. Okay, so it is mandatory, you cannot avoid. Okay, now interface attribute by default it is public, static and final. Okay, so by default if you are not giving any like modifiers there, so it will be going to be considered as a public, a static, final. Okay, an interface cannot contain constructor. Okay, like generally why we use constructor? Constructor means, like suppose I have a 1 minute, suppose I have a what called vehicle interface and it is an interface. So we already know that if it is an interface, so we cannot create the object. Okay, if there is a constructor, like suppose there is a how you give a public vehicle and it is taking some argument and you are returning something. So if it has a constructor, then why not we will able to create the object. But the problem is that interface does not contain the constructor, so that's why nobody is there to construct the object. So that's why we are not able to create the object of an interface. Okay, let's understand when to use interface. Okay, so to, as you know, like when you want to achieve abstraction, that time we need to use the interfaces or abstract. But in interface there is just some more condition. Okay, like suppose if you want to bound any developer that hey, if you are using this interface, if you are using vehicle interface, okay, so if they are implementing this interface, so they are bound to write their a start and a stop method. Like suppose nowadays there is a car is coming, okay, now car may be petrol engine, okay, car may be battery EV vehicle, okay, or nowadays car is also going hydrogen. So starting stopping is like for both all of the car might different internally how it's happening, it is different. So like suppose a BMW having their e vehicle and they need to write their logic, business logic, how to start a car. Suppose there is a hydrogen kind of vehicle, okay, Hyundai car is there, and they need to implement their own implementation how to start a vehicle. So if there is variation in implementation, okay, but naming should be separate because other will be directly going to interact with interfaces. Like suppose in every car there should be a start button, in every car there should be a start button, like suppose in every car there should be like there is a button, okay, and its button should be a start because it is convenience to the user, okay, just he is going inside a car, just press on the button, it doesn't matter whether it's battery, whether it's IC engine or whether it's other hydrogen vehicle, it should do the same thing. So it is convenience to the user, okay. So for that reason we use interfaces. So as how we will create, like we just create interfaces, this give the method. After Java 1.8, like Java 8 version, we can even give the some default method also, like default I can give, and I can give anything print method, okay, and there it can have implementation, okay, s out printing your document, okay. So there is some enhancement happen. Now let's try to use, like suppose there was one more region of creating interfaces, because suppose if people have not given interface, so what happen, by definition itself Java does not support multiple inheritance, okay. Multiple inheritance means, like suppose I have a class people, okay, and there is a class employee, a teacher, and there might be a class a student. Now try to understand a scenario. There, this is also abstract, this is also abstract, let's suppose this is also abstract, or let's consider some are might be not abstract. Now try to understand, there is one PhD student, okay, who is working on some fellowship or researching something. He is a human also, like people, he is also tutor, like suppose he is also doing some teaching kind of assistance he is also having, and he is also a student also. So now Java will not going to allow to inherit these all three, okay. Like suppose I am writing that, okay, people extend teacher, okay, come on, teacher extend a student. So here it is going to throw compile time error, because it will going to, you can just extend only one. So to solve this problem, interfaces introduced. So rather than, like, suppose if you are in that situation, so what you can do, that you can create a small interfaces. You can create people interfaces, okay. Then you can create again a student interfaces. You can again create interface of teacher also, and you can club these all three. So this is also one important concept. So here you can see demo class inheriting the first interface also and second interface also, and if method of first interface, method of second interface need to be override. So these are the couple of interesting things which was about. Now let's do the comparative. Okay, so interface contain one abstract class method, okay, and it can have a default method or a static method. Abstract class contain both abstract and non-abstract method, okay. Now it interface support multiple inheritance, but abstract class doesn't support multiple inheritance. Interface cannot have constructor, but abstract class can have a constructor. By default, interface is like public, static, final, okay. In abstract class, no any restriction. You can give private, public, anything, any modifier, okay. Interface keyword is used for the declaring the interface. Abstract key is used for the declaring the abstract. So I hope so you can find this PPT on my website epankaj.com, and thank you so much. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, please. See you next time.